So, welcome everyone to the Sexy Side of Menopause. You might be wondering, what's with the crowns? Well, you are in for an amazing hour because we have with us the queen herself, Dr. Felisha Kay. So grateful to have you here. I know your schedule is so busy to squeeze us in. I'm so grateful. And I would love for you to introduce yourself and tell us the purpose behind the crowns today.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Beverly. I am Dr. Felisha Kay, the Luxury Love Diva, and as a love and elevation coach, I empower high achieving women to attract both love and wealth into their lives, enabling them to live luxuriously and fulfilled. The reason for the crowns is it is Queen season. And Queen season is time for elevation in all areas of our lives. I also recently hosted my inaugural Crowns and Gowns dinner gala, based on my Luxury Life Unveiled invite only series. And the theme was Queen season. Unlock, unveil, and unleash your inner queen. And I'll tell you what, it was a spectacular time. Beverly, you were there, and you were absolutely glowing and shining and elevating in all of your essence and in all of your queen energy. And so that's what it's all about. I believe that we should wear our crowns,
Yes.
visible and invisible, at all times.
Yes. So, ladies, if you don't have your literal crown, embody having a crown at all times and then be looking for the universe to show you your crown in the physical. So, we're going to talk about this event a little bit because I really feel like your event is something that's a rite of passage for women. It's like we spend a lot of time building our business, working, and where's the space that we celebrate womanhood? And to me, the menopause journey is filled with so much noise, so much negativity. Where's the place that we can sit into the space of queen? Where can we sit into the space and own the wisdom and the knowledge and all of the possibility that the future holds for us in the future? So when I attended your event, from the point that I was invited, which I'm so grateful for, there was just a select number of women who were invited to this event. And I felt like this is going to be something that is going to be paramount in my life. Like this is a new season. You can feel it at the point of the invitation. And actually being at the event, words cannot express, and I'm kind of getting choked up about it, how you treated us like royalty, really like royalty. And it allowed us to take up space and just recognize how much this feminine space we don't take up because we're on this like grind, so much leaning in this like male energy too much. And I know I've been definitely one of those people that has kind of lived that because I've been in the government environment and it's a grind and it's moving and it's always about push, 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 hair on fire, running around. So to be in a space where I can settle into being celebrated for who I am as a woman and as a queen and being hosted by you, this event was absolutely a game changer in my life. And I've shared a little bit about it. I'm still like choked up about it. How being in that event had allowed me space to kind of think about some new things and embracing the queen that I am and serving the women in the menopause space that they could also feel this. So I'll let you jump in there and we will go wherever the energy takes us because one of the things about you, there's so many areas that you touch into. being a woman, being feminine, being abundant, manifesting, high achieving women, next level. So wherever you want to take this, let's just let the conversation go and women lean in, because I'm telling you, to be on this ladies calendar, you have to bring out the American Express Platinum.
Oh, Beverly, you're so sweet. Well, I will begin with my event. And so the event Luxury Life Unveiled, um, events by invitation, was truly inspired by my book, Luxury Life Unveiled, Unlocking the Secrets to Attract Your Dream Life with No Apologies. And it really is about a journey. The book really speaks to three phases in our lives where we uncover the limiting beliefs and we shift into where we are, where we imagine ourselves, the best versions of ourselves that can uncover luxury. I talk about luxury as a feeling, as an actual thing, which is like the tangible items, and then actually how it represents peace from within. And then I move into that third phase of moving towards your goals, your dreams, and your ambitions, being unapologetic. And so originally, this was supposed to be a book launch with just friends and family or whomever to just come and
Yeah.
help me with the launch of my book. But I said, I need more. So the way I operate is I am led. I
Mhm.
am led from within to do anything. And when I feel like someone else is leading me, I'm
Mhm.
blocked and I just shut down.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing that more and more as I tap into my inner queen and grown womanness, confidence and femininity. One thing is people like to say is, I don't chase, I attract. Oh, I will never chase anything. I attract everything, including um, clients,
Mhm.
friends, associates. And so this event being invite only was really for women who I felt I wanted to share space with, high achieving women. Um, the event is about who's in the room and the
Mhm.
value that they bring into the room. And so celebrating with you ladies was extremely special because we come from this world of grind and push and climb and sometimes compete
Mhm.
as we are growing our businesses. And I said to myself, we need to get out of that environment.
Yes.
We need to celebrate ourselves. And so that's why the theme was unlock, unveil, and unleash. It's about your journey.
Mhm.
In all of that, it was the experience, if you
Yeah.
recall. We had a beautiful reception,
Yes.
and I paid attention. I'm an observer. Paid attention of you ladies coming together in community, looking beautiful at the reception, having your champagne, your wine, your custom drinks
Yes.
called the Queen, having association, being admired by the people that passed by, and most
Yes.
important, my husband was there, and he
Yes.
was. That was the best experience he's had, just being around so many amazing women and in your energy.
Mhm.
And the next day, getting ready for the actual event where you all took the stage to
Yes.
lock, unveil, and unleash. The,
Mhm.
it was a journey,
Yes.
really, and an experience. So you had the experience of getting your makeup done. We had three
Yes.
artists, and music and association, more food, healthy foods. And
Yes.
it was so beautiful because
It was.
the ladies gathered in this space and just hung out and enjoyed each other in our silk custom robes.
Yes.
You so magical. And then after that, we did photos and we had the videographers there,
Mhm.
and you ladies showed up so beautifully in your crowns and gowns. And so for me, Beverly, I like to say I can show you better than I can tell
Yes.
you. And so we're just whimsical and magical. And as a little girl, I just imagine, I just imagination, but I need to see it.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing that I think is so important is we can dream, but we need to implement.
Right.
And
Yes.
you all were able to see my actual dream
Mhm.
unfold
Yes.
and be implemented,
Beautiful. Yes.
because that's very, very important. So that's what the event was about. Next year it'll be bigger on purpose. But I am it's about who's in the room. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for what's next. I know that more women need to experience it, and every
Yes.
woman have spoken to, yourself included, it's like just can't find the words.
Yeah.
It's like everyone has been moved,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
elevated,
Yes.
inspired to do more, be more, show up
Mm-hmm.
bigger, bolder.
Yes. Yes.
What it's about, we are in elevation. This is a season of elevation in all areas of our lives.
Well, I am ready for elevation. I told you, put me on the list. I need to elevate. I need to be at the next level. What's so amazing to me as I watch you, we've known each other for a while, and I was taken from you from the earliest point of meeting you. You're so genuine, you're so real. And it feels like that's missing in the community of women. And as we talk about the menopause journey and me specializing in supporting women on this journey, women were like not leaning into it. They were kind of, that's not me. I'm not in menopause. I'm not on the journey. And I'm like, the reality is, yes, you are. You just don't understand what that journey looks like. You have this stigma in your mind that has probably been passed along to you by the patriarchy, whose design is to put women in their space behind them. And I'm not having it. When I look at you and what you built and who you are genuinely bringing women together, the collaboration, to me, that's what I look to foster with women on the menopause journey. You're probably not aware of all aspects of this journey. Your thought about it probably is a bit outdated. Look at myself, I'm postmenopausal. Felisha is on the menopause journey. Who would look at you and think, she's a menopausal woman? Or Beverly is a menopausal woman? Yes, this is the face of menopause today. The face that you might have remembered from 20, 30 years ago when maybe your mother went through it and talked about it or didn't talk about it. You're just observing from a distance from women who are talking about all the hot flashes and the weight, like all of those things. Well, part of the scenario is understanding what this journey encompasses so you can prepare yourself to be the best version of yourself at this particular phase. And I look at Dr. Felisha and like, I want to be in menopause. I want to have what you have, I'll have that, you know what I mean? So it's like rebranding menopause, owning it for yourself, finding out what you need to know so you can be on the sexy side of menopause. There are so many women that were at that event. I could interview each one of them because they're on that menopause journey as well. And they are bosses in their spaces. And Dr. Felisha, the fact that she can bring some of these women together lets you know how important community is. And that's one of the things you talked about a lot. You see this missing.
Yes, I see community missing in this space of elevation where women are rising. We are rising, and the communities that we're in, certainly we're all like-minded and we're all rising together, but sometimes it's a community that fosters competition. And so I would love to see more collaboration. I would also love to see more support for each other. And it doesn't have to necessarily exist in coaching environments.
Yes.
They need to be in nurturing spaces. We need to relax a little bit,
Yes.
right? You know what I mean? We need to relax a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, and just be grounded
Mhm.
and not rushed on our journey to success, but also take time to pay attention to your body.
Right. Yes.
Because I believe that confidence is so key. You can we can move through menopause luxuriously. I tell you what I do. I feel sexier than ever. I am actually, we're going to get into it. Let me get comfortable because I'll tell my husband,
Let's talk.
I'm getting real comfortable. Let me tell you. So I don't know what it is. Since 18, I've been a lingerie enthusiast. Just in that, maybe my mom wore lingerie. I'd go in her drawer and I'd look and I'm like, this is pretty, this is pretty, this is pretty. So I collected lingerie for years and years and years. I never stopped buying it.
Mhm.
And I met my husband. I said, I'm a lingerie enthusiast. He's like, really? What do you mean? I'm like, look. So I would just, this whole lingerie. It's like, oh my God. So for me, I absolutely love being sexy. I
Yeah.
love being a mature woman, and it makes it all the more special for me to just put on these beautiful pieces of lingerie and the gloves and
Yeah.
all. I just I transform into this magical person, and my husband's like, "Who are you? Am I really?" I'm like, "Me."
Well,
Well,
that is beautiful. I love it.
Well, yeah, but I've come into this space all the more with maturity, and
Mhm.
even I feel like I'm postmenopause because I mean I had a hysterectomy, so I know I'm please. I feel like been in it. I've probably been in it probably in my 30s. I don't know because I've had all these various symptoms, hot flashes and
Mhm.
whatever, but
Mhm. Yeah.
I've always carried confidence. I never let any of those things bother me. I eat right. I take care of myself.
Right.
I'm a long distance runner. I was a gymnast. Um, but I still like to stay healthy and eat
Mhm.
right. So I do pay attention to my body. So I
Mhm.
believe it's so important, as women are in this phase of life,
Right.
to don't let it deter you and say, oh, well, I whatever. Some people associate menopause with old. Honey, no, associated with elevated. It has nothing to do with age. It's about how you feel and how you treat yourself and the confidence that you're in, the skin that you're in, the vibe that you're in, the tribe that you're with. I also believe, and here I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to go because I
Oh.
believe that women in this space, we need to find our tribe.
Mhm.
We need to be with people that we vibe with.
Right.
Right. So that's important too, because we can lower our vibrations by hanging around people or being in spaces that don't elevate us from within.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, I talk about relationships from this perspective. We should be with partners that contribute to the completion of us, not the depletion of us.
Yeah.
The completion, not the depletion. And that means the same for friends.
I love that. I
I
love
know
that.
what I love about you, Beverly, is whenever I send you a Voxer or a voicemail, it's like, please, it's like you're a schoolgirl. And I'm like, I love that I have that effect. I love that I have that effect. But that's just the energy I'm typically
Yes.
in.
Yes.
I'll call you like, hey, Beverly Cakes, it's
Yes. Are you talking to
but
me? Are you talking to your daughter? You're like, yeah, that's you. I'm like, okay, I'll take that. It's so endearing.
yeah, it's like it's a natural high for me. And I think that when we're confident and when we're grounded and when we are self-assured,
Mhm.
we just vibrate at a higher frequency. And so
Right.
certainly in the menopause space,
Yeah.
it's a game changer. It
Yes.
can be time for elevation, even in that space, but you have to own it.
Exactly.
You have to see it as an exciting new chapter with anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is not the end of you. This is the new beginning of you. Don't
Absolutely.
we? You know what I mean? I love to see life as chapters and journeys, like we just go through various things and we're in different phases and this is one of them. We're gonna have those ebbs and flows, but I don't mind it. Because I believe when we're learning, we're growing and we're evolving.
Right, right. You have said so much, and I really would encourage the women and men who actually find themselves listening to your wisdom that they go back and replay and just take down these nuggets because there's so much packed in it. One, I feel like you, this is sexy because I've decided it's going to be sexy. You spoke of lingerie. I am a Venus girl. I have such a girly side of me that I've kind of had tucked away because I was on the grind. I was working. And now that I've retired and moved full time into my business, I have the space to be able to prioritize that femininity. And one of the things that I realized is like, I had let my sensual side almost go dormant. And I actually had summits that I was running a couple of years ago. I would do these summits like every quarter, and I would bring in women again, the collaboration, women from the medical field, coaches, chefs, physical fitness persons, and just have conversations about what this journey entails and what you can do to be empowered through it. And there was something that was shared that was so impactful for me. This woman was a sensuality doula, and she was all about movement for women. And you know this because you know me personally. I'm like, Felisha, I don't dance. Like, I grew up in a very religious household. We don't dance.
Right.
So there's like this stigma in my mind that I was holding on to that I had to release. It's not the truth of who I am. We are meant to move. So going back to this lady who was a sensuality doula, she gave us some tips on how to tap into femininity. So while she was on with me live, she gave me a couple of moves, and it was like just doing those moves, I was felt like giddy and laughing, like it was something that was being unlocked. That's your word now, unlocked. And I realized it had been suppressed. So women, just moving your body, you will tap into that feminine side. You can't not move and feel happy and feel sensual depending on what type of dance. I actually end up taking this woman's class. Honey, I felt like I was ready to get a pole in my room and start dancing. Like, it had definitely opened something for me because it's like your hip region, we keep it so stiff and grounded that projects in how we move. But if you open that up and do some movement, I think there was one image that she told us to keep it in mind is like doing the figure eight with your hips. And if you move your body and your hips in a figure eight motion, you're gonna be like, well, where's my partner?
Where? I love it.
So it's just important to understand, like, there are so many things you need to bring into this journey if you found yourself not feeling excited about it. I'm looking at Felisha, she looked like she stepped off the cover of a magazine for wellness and beauty and entrepreneur, like gorgeous, glowing. We have to do those things for ourselves to put ourselves first. And I even had a tendency to like, I used to commute so much. My hair was always in a bun, always a corporate suit. Felicia's like, let that go. Let that go. Let that image go. Thus, I have dangly earrings, a crown on. I'm ready, ladies.
But exactly. And you know, I'm going to just share something with you. This is, as I think about my journey, I believe people say don't look to the past, look to the future, but I believe that our past really helps shape who we become in the future, but it also tells a story. And so as you were talking about the pole and you were talking about the figure eight dancing and you were talking, well, you were maybe putting a pole in your room and looking for your partner and, you know, the figure eight dancing, it reminded me, not that I've forgotten because it's something I'll always remember. You know, I will say this, I've always been career minded and career oriented. I started my first business at 19 years old. But I will say this, I remember, and I was a teen mom, and I was in a relationship with a man when I was 19. He was a little older than me, but he worked all the time. Mm-hmm. And he didn't give me any attention. I didn't have any friends. And so I got this wild harebrained idea that I would work at a strip club part-time. And I did. I worked during the lunch hour, which was like the 11 to 7. And I did this maybe about 6 months, and I maybe a couple times a week. But what it was, my reasoning is I just wanted attention.
Mhm.
There was that because I wasn't getting attention from my boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
But then I thought, there's something about being on. But one of the things I did do is I worked at a place where it was very special. I'm very calculating what I choose. So this was a place where the women who had to wear evening gowns, and I was 21, by the way, so I was just old enough to get in, right?
Okay.
Gowns, they had a steakhouse, cigar lounge, all the
Oh,
things, and
nice.
that's what intrigued me by it. No nudity, topless, but not nude. So what I loved, I found myself so intrigued by being on the stage and moving and just enjoying the sensuality of myself. And I didn't care if there was anyone at my stage. I just enjoyed being up there with the music and just kind of being one with myself.
Yeah.
So for me, that set this inner confidence from within where I just felt like, oh, I love this, I love this. But then as I moved into corporate America, all of that changed. I
Mm-hmm.
worked like you were, I
Mm-hmm.
worked the
Mm-hmm.
jacket, the
Mm-hmm.
suits, and I'm
Right.
still in my 20s, and I just changed to something else. I was not myself. I felt restricted and confined, and I felt trapped. And it wasn't until I said, I can't do corporate anymore. And I figured that out real quick. I can't do it. It wasn't until I went back into my entrepreneurial roots and also into science. I'm a cosmetic chemist and internationally trained perfumer. So I went into my art, what I love, and then start connecting with me again.
Mm-hmm.
And sexuality came back, and I started
Um,
all these beautiful things and experiences and people,
mm,
but authentically and organically. And I think um, in the menopause journey and in the phase of, I like to call it the grown womanness and this level of confidence, we have to own it and embody exactly who we are
yeah.
authentically. Can't be led by what we believe society um, what we believe society expects of us
Mhm. Right.
to not be sexually active anymore, to not dress sexy anymore. It's
Sexy.
really
Mhm.
all about us. It's about how you feel.
Absolutely.
And I know that when we walk into a room and we love the skin we're in and the outfit that we're wearing, I don't care if it's clown suit. Other people be like, oh wow, look at them. They look silly. But when they see you owning that clown suit or whatever it is that you're
Mhm.
in,
Mhm.
they're like, but they start shifting.
Yeah.
It's not, we don't, we need to understand that we are in control of making people or helping people rise to who we believe we are instead of us lowering ourselves
Right.
to who
Right.
we think we are. And we
Right.
get so distracted. People get so distracted by outside influences.
Mhm.
What
Mhm.
is so and so gonna think? What is so and so gonna think? What is my mom, my sister, my brother, my friend, my partner, what is everyone else going to think instead of saying, well, what do I think?
Mhm. Exactly.
Comfortable with how we think and how we feel, then the people around us start being comfortable too.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that at the end of the day is extremely important.
So true. Thank you for sharing all of that. There's a couple of things that I thought of as you were speaking. One, it's important to know as you go through the menopause journey, that confidence usually builds.
Yes.
There's this intuition that we're able to tap into because we are aging. There's this wisdom that comes forth, and you're able to discern things much better and have the confidence and the voice. I know that happened for me. I learned to say no to some things, and that was so empowering. And I have owned it fully at this point. I'm not going to be coerced into things. If it doesn't serve me, it doesn't serve me. A no is a no, and there's no explanation needed. It's just no. So that's one of the things you can definitely look forward to as a empowered part of going through this journey. The second thing you mentioned was the hysterectomy. Women who go through a hysterectomy, there's various phases of a hysterectomy, and that will almost certainly put you into menopause like overnight. It's not like a gradual move into it. It's like you're in full-blown menopause. So what do? So it's important to understand that menopause is not something that's on the shelf waiting for you at 60. Right. Menopause is a journey, and it's where your hormones are changing, and basically they're the sex hormones of estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone. Those start shifting and moving when you get into your 30s or so. And actually, because of the environment we're in, it's so toxic. The air is toxic. I'm in the DC metro area. There's about 4 airports around us with all of that toxicity from these planes. There is toxicity in the food. Now it's got all of these labels, what's organic, what's not organic. These things that we eat that don't support us as far as nutrition and giving our bodies what we need, it causes us to have these symptoms that show up that end up being problems. The third part is like the water that we're using and drinking and showering with. These have chemicals in them that goes into your pores and disrupts your hormones. So you have to be knowledgeable and try to figure out, okay, what is it that I need to shift and change in my life as I go through this journey to be able to navigate this with minimal symptoms. Menopause is something that's showing up earlier and earlier in women, even without surgery. So it's not unusual to hear somebody going through menopause symptoms, which is perimenopause, in the late 20s. So just be knowledgeable, just be aware. The other thing that you mentioned that I thought of, I do a lot of research, Felisha. I've been in this space with health and wellness, and specifically women with hormonal disruption and menopause, since 2017. And I got my certification under a doctor that focused specifically on women. So I am zeroed in. One of the things that was so impactful is understanding how you eat enables you to move through this journey with minimal symptoms. There was a doctor who was an Ayurvedic specialist, and she has a concern about women who just succumb to their symptoms. She always said, menopause is definitely something that you will go through, but the symptoms are optional. And that's directly opposed to the narrative. So if you find yourself going through this journey and you're having some challenges, just know they can be navigated and you can move beyond them. There's a natural holistic way, which is what I teach. And there's also a place where you can get hormones through a doctor, something that's prescribed, but there is a way to navigate this season. You have a choice, just be informed, which is the reason why I do these podcasts. The Sexy Side of Menopause, I'm focused on the positive side. There was a PhD relationship specialist, and I cannot think of her name. She had a YouTube channel, and I was following her for years. And she talked about relationships. Unfortunately, as women go through the menopause journey, many of them are not aware of what's happening to them. And you can think, I'm going crazy, or there's something wrong with me. And you can go to the doctor's office and come out with a handful of prescriptions for depression. Truly, doctors have very limited information about the menopause journey, and definitely have probably had no information on nutrition, which is vital. So just know that when you go, don't just give your power away and let these doctors decide how you navigate this. But this woman who did this research and worked with relationship individuals, she talked about how divorces were so paramount during this stage, because a woman is navigating this season, trying to figure out what's happening with her body, and possibly with a partner that's kind of in that same age range, and the partner goes through a male version, which is called andropause, and his hormones are changing. So you have these two perfect storms where people decide, you go your way, I go my way, and that's life. But she said for those who were able to come together and work through it through communication, there was ways that you can strengthen and be stronger in your relationship. And the key thing that she said, which you just mentioned, go to a strip club, go to these places where these women are mesmerizing men because they know how to satisfy the partner in their life. And when you said that, like, light bulb moment went off for me, because how many women would be proactive enough to say, just going to go to one of these places and kind of learn how to improve my femininity?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think, again, truly just embodying this side of yourself that is confidence. It's like when we talk about a dream business or even a dream life, or if you could do anything in the world or be anything, anyone, be any particular way, and you knew you could not fail,
Mm-hmm.
what would you do?
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of the way we should look at menopause and this change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're maybe going through this change. We're in this new phase, but we can decide
Yes.
how we are going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
I elevated is what comes to mind because that's how I feel. I'm not 22 anymore, but I don't connect with. I would not want to be because
Exactly.
I was nowhere near as as I am now, and I know what I know now, and honey, it's enough to, in my mind, change the world. But I can't change the world unless I'm showing up as the purest, most authentic version of myself,
Mm-hmm.
confident,
Yes.
just grounded and unapologetic.
Yes.
That just means like, I feel how I feel. I say what I said. My no means no. My
Exactly.
doesn't mean I don't have favorites. I either like you, I don't. I either like something or I do not. I'm not on the fence. I either want to do something or I do not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm either interested or I am not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
I will or I won't.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we have to dilly-dally in the middle and think, you know, teeter-totter,
Mm-hmm.
that is not making a decision, and it's also weighing more on what someone else wants you to do instead of what you want to do. And I'm that way with when it comes these days with money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had to make some very challenging decisions. I'm a people pleaser. And I
Mm-hmm.
realized that we can block our own blessings
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if we are giving in a way that is that allows us to be disrespected,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we can be giving and kind and generous, and we should be,
Mm-hmm.
if we're continuing to do that to the same cast for the same cast of characters
Nothing changes.
that feel entitled, then you're really giving your power away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then you have to be consistent. When you are so consistent in your yes, you can't blame people for what you allow them to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you say no, well, they're going to kick and they're going to scream, but you have to understand we need to be consistent in our no as well.
Yes.
And the only way to do that is to keep saying it
Yes.
until people on the other side believe it.
Yes. Yes. That's where I am. My no means no. I know where I want to go. I know what I want to accomplish. And there was somebody in our coaching circle who has a phrase that I think about a lot. And when I first heard it, I thought it seemed a bit cold, but as I reflect on it, it's so true.
What is it? I want to know. What is it?
She
What
said, everybody can't go, sis. Everybody can't go.
is it? Girl, no. Mm.
And it's true, you can't pull people along.
Well, not everyone mixes either,
True.
and and that's okay.
Hmm.
Not
Hmm.
everyone can consume the same space at the same time.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it doesn't mean that some are more worthy than others. It just means that some are less elevated. Or some are not going where you going.
Everybody can't go, sis.
Everybody can go. And that's okay.
It's so true.
Okay.
And one of the things that I want to bring into this conversation that I think if women can tap into this can be a game changer for them. I am very much keyed into energy. And I think that's how we synced up. You're a next level keyed into energy. The way things come into your universe that you manifest is just absolutely amazing to me. But you have that way you move, the energy around you, the lightness, and we have to be able to tap into that. So, can you talk a bit about this? And I think this is like also just talking about your book, because I read your book. Your book was amazing. I should have literally had it on my desk with me, but it's by my bedside table because those are my words of wisdom that I go by. But the way your life is and the things that you've been able to achieve by aligning with certain goals and setting the vision and the manifestation, the luxury life. Let's talk about that a little bit because sometimes I don't think women really see that for themselves.
Well, one of my quotes, my personal quotes is we must value ourselves at the highest level in life and in love. But that also means believing that we are worthy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I know for me, I've just had this effortless sense from within that just has allowed me to be authentic and dream bigger, even in some of the worst circumstances. I'm a domestic violence survivor,
Mm-hmm.
thriver, I should say. Um, and I believe we attract the energy that we are in. And I know being in a abusive relationship, I know for me, my confidence waned. I just lacked
Yeah.
confidence. I didn't think I
Yeah.
deserved anything more. But right after that relationship ended, he went to prison, sentenced to 75 years. So that's another story. But I do know that during a, there was a 6-month period where I attracted terrible, terrible men to me.
Wow.
One was abusive. One was They were all abusive in some way, shape, or form, but there was something that shifted from within.
Mm-hmm.
There was something within me that I got it quickly, and it clicked. It says, "You are attracting what you've been through, but you can change it." And one of the things I said is, I will never be in a relationship with someone who abused me. I will never let my daughter see me being disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am going to attract the things that I desire and I need. So I started attracting mentors. I believe if your mentors are not directly in front of you, then you should seek them out. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily look, but I was energetically aligned with what
Wow.
I need,
Yeah.
who I needed. And
Right.
so I attracted, I say wealthy mentors, billionaire mentors, and not just people who had wealth so much. I say billionaire because they were a group of businessmen who actually allowed me to ask questions and I paid attention.
Yeah.
This was over 30 years ago and we're still friends. Couple are client, you know, on the love side. So it's really, it- but throughout my life, I have attracted the right people to me that I desire to meet or know.
Right.
Women, children. I learn from everyone. My husband, my second husband, and
Mm-hmm.
my first husband,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I think that there are no mistakes. We are meant to learn. But one of the things I'll say is for me, I'm in a whole new phase.
Yeah.
for me feels like a new beginning. And you mentioned gifts, I have suppressed my gifts. People see me, it's almost like that song, Kendrick Lamar, sometimes you gotta pop out and show. Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, right, but and people see that like, oh my gosh, she's so this, she's so that, and I've been suppressing. I mean, I'm a person, I can walk up to every single person in a room and tell them something about themselves that is spectacular. They'll be like, because I feel it, I see
Yeah.
it, I
Yeah.
physically align with it, and
Yeah.
I just and I can speak it. I speak love and life into people.
Yeah.
I see things within people that they don't see
In themselves.
in themselves, and
Mhm.
it's usually light and it's bright.
Yeah.
And that is why I feel so compelled to lead a community of high achieving, high performing women who don't get that nurturing piece.
Mhm.
Grind, it's work, it's go, it's build, it's you gotta be feminine, but even if you're scared, like that's not being for masculine. Jumping, just let's chill.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited for what's
There, there is so much that you do. And I encourage the women to also get your book. Even though I've known you now for a couple of years, I read the book. You are truly an inspiration. You talk about some of the challenges that you've gone through. And when you say them, there's a part of me like, I can't see her ever having to have difficulty in her life. And I know that's not reality, but that's kind of the way the social media platforms are. It's like, see me, everything's perfect. My life's always been 100%. But there's a journey that you've been on, and you've been open in sharing that journey and also providing ways for women to move into higher elevation in your book. And I read your book and just take little tidbits of it. And I could just hear you saying that because the person that you are is the person that showed up in that book and the woman who put together this amazing event. And you mentioned that you can meet a person and speak light into them. You actually, off the cuff, I'm sorry, I'm like getting choked up when I think back on all the experiences that we had at that event. You were being interviewed by the MC, and she just asked you a question like out of the blue. You had no idea what this question was. And from that question, you took a moment and you singled out every woman that was at that event and spoke light into them. Like I said, I got like choked up because that's who you are. It wasn't something that was rehearsed. It wasn't something on a card. It just came forth because that's the light of who you are and how you move. So I want to say thank you for that. And for all the women that are here watching, receive that light into your life. Get Felisha's book. If you find yourself lost and don't know how to get on this path of living your best life, Felisha has a roadmap, an easy read, a beautiful book, absolutely gorgeous book.
Thank you, Beverly. That's really sweet of you. And you also had an opportunity to meet my husband. So
Yeah.
you see, I think that having the right partner, if you're in a partnership, having a supportive partner certainly helps.
Mhm, mhm.
And if you aren't in a relationship, for example, where you have the most supportive partner, or if you're single or whatever the case, you know, sometimes it's not a it's you just have to tap inward all the more,
Mhm,
really, just
mhm,
investing in yourself. Absolutely.
mhm.
Uh, that discourage you or deter you, non-supportive friends or whatever. The people who matters most, the person who matters the most
Mhm.
is you. And as
Yeah.
long as you feel like you're on the right path, that is all that matters. But I am I'm happy to know that you've had this opportunity to experience my husband. He hung out with you ladies. And so you see where I actually have this this extra layer of support. So I will say that does help me, um, because I didn't have that in my last marriage. I didn't have any friends. It
Mhm.
almost impossible to have friends. So I was very suppressed. Um, but I'm out. And oh, here's another thing I want to say. If I even end here and leaving people with this, it's okay to shift. It's okay to pivot.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
okay to adjust.
Get that crown right.
Right? Because here's the thing. When we start our journey with menopause being a journey, that's something that's a life journey, right? But
Mhm.
when we talk about business and the things that we're cultivating, if we're shifting into a new industry or into a new space, we don't have to walk a straight line.
Mhm.
So if you are on a business journey or elevation journey in your business,
Mhm.
and and you say something just doesn't feel right, be mindful of being led down a path that you know is not meant for you in
Mhm.
your business. So
Mhm.
if you feel like I love my business is amazing, but I feel like I'm not led to go this way. I think I want to move over here slightly or move here. It's okay to adjust.
Right. Just the crown.
It is because sometimes just a slight little adjustment, pivot, shift,
Mhm. Mhm.
nudge
Yeah.
is the correct fit. It's the correct path.
Okay.
And that's where the floodgates open to your abundance.
Well, thank you for that share. I think about this podcast, The Sexy Side of Menopause. That's a pivot. That's a shift when you're thinking about your journey. Make the decision that it's time to do a little shift, do a little pivot, and find what you need to do to step into the best version of yourself in this next level of life. Felisha, I cannot believe our time is coming to a close. This conversation to me has flowed, and there's so many gems from your crown that you have shared with us. I love you and appreciate you so much. I want
Like,
to allow you to share anything that's on your heart as we close out. And I will be putting the link to your book so women can get that. This book is definitely one of those ones you need to have in your library, ladies, because it will give you such an amazing perspective on how to live your life unapologetically at the highest level in life, luxury, and love. I know that's your tagline. So go ahead and share whatever you want to leave with the ladies.
well, thank you, Beverly. Thank you so much. So my book is called Luxury Life Unveiled, Unlocking the Secrets to Attract Your Dream Life with No Apologies. And what I would like to share is the importance of valuing yourself, understanding that you are worthy. And on the menopause journey, what we think about is sometimes you just want to shift in mindset. That slight shift in mindset can make all the difference. And
Mhm.
one of the things that I love to talk about and speak to is I work within myself and in my business with the mind, the heart, and the core
Mhm.
of myself and of the individual. And
Mhm.
so if you keep that in mind, your heart, and your core, as you move through this journey in life, whether you are pre or post-menopausal, it's all up to you.
Yeah.
And it can be absolutely fantastic, as luxurious as you make it.
So thank you. Absolutely. Totally agree. Again, ladies, this is Dr. Felisha Kay. I'm so grateful to have you here. I'm Beverly. I'm the CEO, Beverly Whitlow. Let me say, sometimes people think like, what was the last name again? It's Beverly Whitlow. I'm the CEO of Beverly Hills Health and Wellness Coaching. I'm also a certified health coach. I'm the founder of the Body and Lifestyle Academy, where I help women like you to break through the stigma of menopause and lean into a fabulous, confident, and sexy new vision through a holistic journey that I refer to as stepping into a powerful next level life. So continue the journey with us, ladies, as we go and step into the sexy side of menopause. Thank you for being here again. Thank you, Dr. Felisha.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies. See you next time.